this time. My name's Taylor, as my man Bill Brickey, the papa of ShooBooty Studios. Shout out ShooBooty, 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 That's right. So I'm here to do on this maiden voyage of this outdoor backyard awesome setup. I'm here to do some folk tales for you. Now these aren't folk tales that were handed down for thousands of years type of folk tales. Those are great. I love those. Anansi the Spider is one of my favorites. But these are stories that I actually created myself. Why? Well, I love Djembe, this drum right here. And a while ago, someone gave me a book of Nelson Mandela's favorite folk tales. Really great book. Awesome stuff. What I saw from that was a curious absence of stories from where Djembe is from. So I looked a little further, and I really didn't find that much. I asked my masters, I said, are there stories and stuff? A lot of stories? Where's the stories? I said, okay. Well, from my experiences that I've had with my masters and my time in Africa and my time with the Djembe, I just started writing stuff down. So today I'm going to do what I call the big three. This is going to be an origin story. Then it's going to be kind of a discovery of self and other story, like a duality. And then Djembe and community. So you could say singularity, duality, and plurality. Pretty good, all right? I hadn't thought of that until right now, but I think it's true. If you have listening devices like headphones or nice speakers that you can use, I highly recommend using those. Computer speakers, not so much. But we're in an era of do what you can, use what you can, do what you can. That's the plan. So this first story is a story about the origin of the music that Djembe would inherit, and it's also a story about the Djembe itself. In the beginning was the music, and then the drum. In the beginning, in Mande, West Africa, there was the music, and then there was the Djembe. Fanta and Dauga, the story of the women and the new moon, of the heartbeat, of the original heartbeat of one ancient culture in Africa. It was the 13th century, in a place known as the Malian Empire in West Africa. The sun peeked over the savannah as Fajimba, master hunter, set out to the bush. He journeyed past a field where the farmer and his workers were just arriving. He could hear Fanta singing and clapping the music, encouraging the farmers to make their work more of a dance. See, it was the women in the village that had realized that it was always better to work with music and had created rhythms clapping on their hands, movements to dance, and songs to sing for every occasion. Here we go. Djembe, he was a symbol as a master hunter. When he was young, he learned how to track, how to hunt, and take down game. He was well versed in medicinal plants and could understand the calls of the birds, what they would say to each other, about him. Symbols are not separate from nature. They are a seamless part of it. It is known by all animals when it is time to enter into a different part of the cycle. It is said that animals will freely offer themselves to the symbol as they know it is their time. His name was Dauda Karuma, was a Numan, a blacksmith, a caste of great physical and spiritual power. Rightfully, they are revered by all, and rightfully feared by some. Well, Dauda was an exceptional blacksmith. He was also an exceptional medicine man. As such, he knew how to make tools for the farmers and weapons for the warriors, knives for the cooks. But he also possessed secret knowledge about magic and otherworldly things. Frequently, he was called upon to make objects of power for the fetishers and sorcerers, using parts of animals and insects and plants and potions for use in different rituals, for creating fetish objects and incantations. People would come from all corners of the Wassalam, that region that is now separated by the Guinea-Mali border in West Africa, to meet with him. Well, one day, when Dauda was making a mortar out of a log, his carving tool suddenly broke through the bottom of a bowl. In this moment, he had a vision of a skin on the hollowed-out mortar. Swirling diffuse beams of colors, light, and energy radiated from this image, sending ripples of sound that transformed into dancing images. Kuruni, the great spirit that protects the village, was awoken by this energetic shift, as were the ancestors, knowing an object of great power was now in the process of creation. Djembe, 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 was all we heard. He knew what he needed to do, and the creation of this thing would involve the willful sacrifice of a tree and a skin. He took all of this as a clear sign that a channel between the spirit world and the physical world would be opened by this creation. He knew he would be creating a very powerful tool, and it would take the form of a drum. The next day, he went in search of a tree that would allow itself to be party in making this drum. He went deep into the forest, approaching a tree that looked like a good candidate to him. He brought out his cowrie shells and his cola nuts. You see, the cola nuts were an offering of respect. The cowrie shells, well, he was going to use those to throw 5 times at the base of the tree to see if the tree would allow itself to be used for the creation of this drum. He asked one tree. The tree said no. He asked the second tree. The tree said no. He asked the third tree. You know what that tree said? He said no. Tree after tree, he looked until about on the 8th tree, he got the right reading that said that he could bring out extracting the right piece of wood from the abiding tree, the next step would be carving the shell. He waited till late at night, when the spirits are most active, to begin. He went to his special tools passed along to him by his ancestors, imbued with many generations of blood, sweat, and baraka. With only the light of his forge, he carved the mortar. After a while, the mortar became more goblet-shaped, with a large hollow bowl on top and a narrow hollow stem on the bottom. As he worked the form with his razor-sharp tools and master's touch, the goblet shape revealed feminine curves, and as the light of dawn crept into the night, she was finished. The mortar had blossomed into a smooth, shapely form that was waiting for its voice, its tongue, to sing. Now Dawda knew the final step in this creation would be the skin. He spoke to his good and respected friend, the master hunter Djembe, and asked him if he could find a skin for him. Well, Djembe gave him a surprised look, and then shared with Dawda a dream that he had had the night before. Dawda's eyes widened with curiosity and anticipation. Last night I dreamed I was waiting in the bush with my bow and arrow, crouched being as still as nature herself. Suddenly, the ground disappeared and I began floating. Everything around me danced to an energy, a pulse. Djembe, Djembe, Djembe was all I heard. Then, an image of a white ghost with bright green eyes glowing like candlelight trapped inside of an emerald that appeared before me. It encircled a radiant goblet as if made of dancing smoke. Like a snake, the spirits go wound around the goblet until it reached the top and then it swirled down inside and out of the bottom, repeating this flow continuously. The two forms became one, and vibrations of sound and light danced a joyous dance until the image came into focus as that of a goblet-shaped drum. Dawda then shared his vision of when he broke through the mortar. The two masters exchanged a look of ancient wisdom. This would be a moment in history that the Djembe, those are the oral historians, the consultants to kings, court musicians, advisors to kings, this is a moment the Djembe would sing about. A great channel was opening to the spirit and ancestral world. The birth of a tool, an instrument of great power, joy, and healing was imminent. That day, Djembe set out to find a skin for Dawda. As dusk crept into the day, Djembe quietly navigated the grasses of the savannah, silently moving between trees and bushes. As night overtook dusk, Djembe's instinct, or perhaps the whisperings of ancestors, told him to crouch in meditation to more fully open to nature. Closing his eyes, his other senses readjusted to sense the sounds of insects near and far, the feel of the slow-moving air on his skin, the moist smell of earth still clinging to the warmth of the day, cooling down. After the songs of the creatures of the night were in full chorus, he heard movements in the distance. Opening his eyes, he saw nothing. returning to his meditation, he heard movement again. Opening his eyes, he still saw nothing. Finally, he saw two green orbs floating in space, slowly coming into focus. They were eyes. They were glowing brightly like candlelight trapped inside of an emerald, looking right at him. This was the creature from the dream. As Djembe pulled his arrow from his quiver, the creature slowly drew nearer, never breaking eye contact. He hesitated putting the arrow on his bow because the creature kept slowly, gently, intentionally approaching. Only the light of the glowing green from the creature's eyes would light its way. He realized he did not need his bow this day. The creature laid at his feet. It was the white goat. They planned that evening to have a special feast honoring the sacrifice of the mystical creature. Dauda asked the women to prepare the bara and the demesen, that's the young men, to gather the wood. Tonight would be a feast for a very, very special occasion. This feast was not only to honor the goat sacrifice, but to celebrate a thing that had not yet come to be. Dauda had a very strong feeling that this would be a point in history that would change the direction of their culture. The fire filled the air with the scent of expectation, for where there is fire, there will be food. He asked the women to add special spices that he had in the place where he keeps magical things. The women's expert cooking skills combined with Dauda's very special seasonings created an aroma that gave rise to much curiosity and anticipation in the village. Why is it when you're smelling food, it always takes too long to get made? Well, I don't know the answer to that question. But finally, the meal was finished. And it was ready. The village elder, Nankababa, who had recently celebrated his 112th journey around the sun, said that he had never tasted anything so incredible. It was as if he could taste the magic in the meal. Well, he had not danced in the memory of the younger elders of the village. But that night, Dauda threw down his cane and he danced as if possessed by the ancestors. The next day, Djembe gave the skin to Dauda. He fashioned rope to hold her skin in place. He caressed the skin all around, checking and rechecking each angle. Then he put her in the savannah sun to dry. 1 day passed. 2 days passed. 3 days passed. He waited patiently for the right time for her to sing. The moon was full, and the Jinnah were restless in the bush. That night, Dauda dreamed he was floating, connected to all things. Hands dancing, bouncing in an energy exchange of sound, movement, and music. In the rhythmic environment of his dreamscape, Djembe, Djembe, Djembe.
all he heard. Well, the day finally came when it was time for her to sing. Dowda looked carefully to make sure she was dry and she was ready to be finished. He pulled the rope very, very tight with his new moon strength and his tools to open her voice fully. It was time. He sat on a log in front of her, and he bounced his hand off the center, producing an amazing... This was the first speech of Djembe, a version of Om, the first sound. In this area of the world, new sounds don't happen very often at all. Weeks, months, years, perhaps generations go by without new sounds in these very rural areas in Africa. The same sounds you're hearing are the sounds your parents heard, are the sounds their parents heard, are the sounds that their parents' heard. So yes, it was very surprising to hear a new sound in the village. Everything had stopped, and then he did it again, producing another amazing gem sound. The villagers began wondering what was making this sound. Where was the sound coming from? Then he touched the outer portion of the drum, creating a sound. And then his hands began moving as if motivated by an unseen energy. He thought aloud to himself, I remember this. But how could that make any sense at all? This instrument had not existed before this moment. He had never touched this instrument before. Djembe, Djembe, Djembe was all he heard. Djembe, Djembe, Djembe was all they heard. Djembe, Djembe was all she heard. As he witnessed the spectacle of the hand dance happening in front of him, he wondered how his hands were moving in this way. Well, village members slowly grew nearer, not sure what to think of this sound that was clearly more than a sound. It was a deep energy, a vibration, a pulse. Was this thing alive? Now, from across the village, Fanta, well, she heard that sound. A sound the likes of which that had never been heard. It was as if the village had a new heartbeat, and it seemed to come from all around. As she moved through the village following the sound, and soon her movements became rhythmic as she danced her way to the sound. With the pulse, Djembe, Djembe, Djembe was all she heard. As if drawn by a magnetic force, she was being pulled almost off her feet until she stopped cold seeing Dowda with that drum. And as Dowda took notice of Fanta, her movements returned as if bubbling from some ancient depth. Her movements intensified, as did his hand dance. He created rhythms that inspired movement in Fanta. Fanta began spinning and leaping rhythmically while Dowda's drumming chased her, flowing with her every movement. The two began a dialogue of sound and movement, and soon they were finishing each other's sentences. As the energy between the two increased, so did the energy of the now large, moving, pulsing crowd. Because Djembe, Djembe, Djembe was all they heard. The village encircled them. Fanta and Dowda became the nucleus of a much larger entity that included Fajimba, other animals, including humans, the rest of the village, the Jina, the ancestors, and of course, Kuruni. All rejoiced together in bliss as movement and music became one. One of the villagers appeared out of the crowd and asked him what this incredible instrument was called. Well, realizing he did not have a name for it, drum spoke up, and in a loud, clear voice it said, Djembe. Oh yeah? So since that day, the name of this drum became Djembe. Since that day, the women gifted over the rhythms to the blacksmiths to play all the women's rhythms on his djembe. Since that day, the drum became part of every ritual, both secret and public, every celebration, every rite of passage, every naming ceremony. It became part of how the farmers worked the fields and harvested their bounty, and so much more. Since that day, the ancestors had a portal to visit the manifest world through the hands of the Djembe Fola. The ancestors were the source of movement in Dauda's hands. He was unwittingly channeling them with all their power, knowledge, and healing wisdom through his playing. The moment he learned to give his hands over to the ancestors was the day he truly understood why he was doing what he was doing. His purpose had revealed itself to him. Since that day, the djembe drum became an inseparable part of the fabric of Mande culture. Djembe, djembe, djembe was all we heard. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a lot of people talk about the origin of ancient instruments like the djembe. You know, djembe is from an oral tradition. So there's no textbooks to say, oh, on this day, exactly this happened, and la 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 la. So the oral histories that are passed down, you know, which one is true? I don't know if there's an answer to that question. But I'm putting my hat in the ring. I think that's a good story of what might have happened at the beginning, don't you think? I think it's a good happy maker. All right, good. The second story, so that's origin. Okay, beginning of the music and the instrument. The second story is about getting personal with the instrument. And this is my most recorded Africanesque folk tale, I call it. And it is called Hand of the Master. And every time my djembe students hear this, they think to themselves, yeah, that's me too. And I think that's why this story came through me so abruptly, because it was me too. My path with the djembe was the same as the young boy's path. In the 13th century, in a place called the Malian Empire, there was a young boy who just loved to play djembe. All day he played and played and played. But no matter how much he played, no matter how many hours in the day he played, he could not find the sound of the master's hand in his. So the boy thought to himself, well, I do not know why I cannot find the sound of the master's hand in mine. I just play and practice and play and play. Well, I know. It must be this drum. Something's wrong with this drum. That's why I can't find the sound of the master's hand in mine. What is it about this drum that is wrong? Let's see. And maybe it's too tall. That's it. This drum is just too tall. If I get a short drum, I'll definitely be able to find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So the boy set about to find a short drum. And he found a short drum, barely an ankle's height. And he played and played and played. But alas, he did not find the sound of the master's hand in his. short drum didn't work out, but it still must be the drum. It's got to be the drum. What could it be about? Oh, of course. This drum wasn't tall enough. This drum is just too short. That's why I can't find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So the boy set about to find a tall djembe. And he found a djembe so tall that he had to get up on a ladder to go play it. And he found himself a ladder, and he got up on that ladder, and he played and played and played. But alas, he did not find the sound of the master's hand in his. Well, I still know that it must be this drum that is the problem why I can't find the sound of the master's hand in mine, so I'm just gonna... Oh, I know. How could I have been so foolish? Of course. This drum is too wide. I must find a narrow drum. And then I will find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So the boy set about to find a narrow drum. And he found a narrow drum. So narrow that he could barely fit his hand on the whole top of the drum. And he played and played and played. But alas, he did not find the sound of the master's hand in his. Well, the boy became very frustrated indeed. He thought he had thought of everything, but then it occurred to him that, oh, yes, of course. Too tall, no. Too short, no. Too narrow, no. Well, of course, it then must not be narrow enough. I need a wide djembe. So the boy set about to find a wide djembe. And he found one. So wide, in fact, that he could lay down on it and sun himself in the savannah sun. But instead of doing that, you know what he did? He played and played and played. But alas, he did not find the sound of the master's hand in his. Now at this point, the boy became increasingly frustrated. He got all red in the face and got a, fist-looking face. What is it? I can't figure out what it is. No matter what I do, I can't find the sound of the master's hand in mine. But just then, he had a very, very naughty thought. I will take my master's drum, and then I will find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So the boy, in the dead of the night, snuck into his master's T-bow. That's what they call those thatched roofed mud brick huts in Upper Guinea, at least. And he snuck into his master's T-bow. And as quiet as a mouse, he lifted his master's drum and picked it up. And he carried it outside of his T-bow. He carried it across the Bara. That's the village center. And he carried it past the baobab tree that looked over the village. He sat behind the boulder, and he played and played and played. But alas, he did not find the sound of the master's hand in his. But at that very moment, the master was awoken by the sound of his own drum being played in an accent that he could not possibly understand. How can this be? So the master left his T-bow. He crossed the Bara. He went past the baobab tree, and behind the boulder, he saw the young boy with his drum. Why have you not asked me to play my drum? Well, I'm sorry, master. I just no matter what I do, I'm playing. It's too short, it's too tall, it's too wide, it's too narrow. I'm sorry. The master left the boy and went to his T-bow to find a stinky old, misshapen, dusty old, flea-bitten djembe. And he brought it to the boy. You must play this djembe, and this djembe alone, until you find the sound of my hand in yours. The boy took the drum, and he left the village. And many seasons passed, many transitions happened, many rites of passage, many celebrations, many naming ceremonies, until one morning, so early in the morning that the light had not made it to the morning, the master was awoken by the sound of his own hand. How can this be? So the master woke up and got out of his hut, his tebow. He went across the bara. He went behind the baobab tree. He looked behind the boulder, and he looked up at the hill. A half moonlit night showed a silhouette of what looked like a young man playing a misshapen, moth-eaten, flea-bitten, stanky old... Oh, that must be the young boy. As he approached, the master asked the young man, "How is it that you have found the sound of my hand in yours?" "Well, master, I understand now that it was never the drum. It was time, it was practice, it was dedication, and time and more practice and dedication, and well, the djembe doesn't let you decide when you're ready. The learning comes to the student when the student is ready, and the student doesn't decide. Thank you for that lesson, master." Pleased, the master went to his tebow and got his djembe, and the two drummed together as the morning sun chased away the night. Right on, right on. Okay, good. Pretty good on time. All right. Yes, this is definitely, I was going to say it's not Africa hot right now. But I can tell you that when traveling through Upper Guinea, deep Upper Guinea, almost to the Malian border, when I was going to, I had the great honor of being asked to come on a tour with my teacher, master drummer Mamadi Keita, to his village of birth, which is deep in the heart of Djembe country. And on that trip, in the Sahel, which is that dividing region between the Sahara and sub-Saharan Africa, you might know the desert gets cold at night, like bona fide cold, right? When you get into the Sahel, get in a little bit past the trees, and it becomes more desert-like. That's where we were going, and we had some times where we were traveling in a van that had, you know, it didn't have a window. It had like a area that was missing, that was window shaped in the side of the van, you know, and it was just open all the time, and air pouring in at highway speeds that was just no warmth. We were freezing our butts off, huddling together, laughing about the fact that we're freezing our butts off in Guinea, West Africa, which none of us at that point had really experienced quite so much. But you had to go to the right place, really up further north than the coast. So, anywho, I guess I have experienced this kind of cold with Djembe before. Bill and I actually did a gig in the woods. It was snow.
It was school.
It was a school.
Peterson
Right.
Park.
We seriously, it
It
was,
was an outdoor school to teach kids about, leaves and started, the
Yeah.
farm. So they hired us to do djembe at Christmas time.
yeah,
It was snowing.
outdoors, in the woods. There was snow on the ground. We were drumming with gloves on. It was like, we were drumming for a while, and I took sport in like, what fingers I had to remove from my, and go like this with while I was playing. And you can play just like this reasonably, whatever. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. All right, so the last story is going to be kind of like coming together of the Djembe in its cultural context in kind of a ritual way. And this story is called Mori Bayasa. And Mori Bayasa, some of you who study Djembe might know that it's a rhythm that's played when a woman's wish is granted in Malinke cultures in Upper Guinea, West Africa. I'm going to leave it at that. There's more to it, but I'm going to leave it at that. And here is the story of Mori Bayasa. Mamadi Keita and his sister Kadia. Okay, here we go. Once there was a girl named Kadia, and she lived in a small village in Upper Guinea, West Africa. That village was called Balandugu Jomawanya. Well, one day in August of 1950, it seemed like any other day. The Tubaninlu Konolu, those are some birds that live in that area. They cuckooed, and the rhythm of the kolon, kokalan, that's the mortar and pestle that they use to prepare foodstuffs, that colored the morning air. But this was the day one of the greatest djembe masters in the world would be born. This would be Balandugu's first meeting with Kadia's last-born brother, Mamadi Keita. Now, Kuruni, the spirit that protects Balandugu, had already known Mamadi, for it is from the spirit world that new babies arrive into this manifest reality. Kuruni saw in Mamadi the spirit of the great Malinke king Sunjata Keita, the king of kings, known as Mansa Ba, from the original Malian Empire around the 13th century. But instead of defending the culture of the Malian Empire with the bow, spear, and sword, Mamadi would use other means to defend his culture. Mori Bayasa, Mori Bayasa, Ako, Mori Bayasa, Mori Bayasa, Yo So Yasa. Everyone noticed that Mamadi cried very, 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 very hard at birth. The village fetisher told the parents not to worry, that this child had a great future ahead of him. Furthermore, the fetisher prophesied that this child would be known not only to his village, but all surrounding villages. That he would be known in all of his country. That his name would be known all over the continent of Africa. That the entire world would know of his greatness. But also, that his parents would not taste the fruit of his fame. Mori Bayasa, Mori Bayasa, Apo, Mori Bayasa, Mori Bayasa, Yo So Yasa. Mamadi began drumming on pots and pans as soon as he could pick up a wooden spoon. His mother said, "This boy, he will be a great Djembe Fola." The Djembe Fola's job is to accompany the work, rituals, and celebrations that would happen in the village. The Djembe Fola's job is to make the Djembe speak. Soon around the age of 5, Mamadi was taken to the village Djembe Fola. That's Karinkajen Konde. Mamadi was to be initiated into the 7 secrets of the Djembe. Because Mamadi was such a naturally gifted drummer, he was given the name Nankama, which in the Malinke language spoken in Guinea, West Africa, it means born for it. Mamadi and Karinkajen would drum for the tilling of the soil, for the planting of the seeds, for the naming ceremonies and initiations. They would play for the full moon, for the important people coming through the village, for masks, fetishers, and of course, for celebration. Mori Bayasa, Mori Bayasa, Apo, Mori Bayasa, Mori Bayasa, Yo So Yasa. One day, Kadia had been called out to the fields to help with harvesting. And when she returned, she went looking for Mamadi to help her bring water from the well. Well, Mamadi was nowhere to be found. And as she looked around, she noticed that the feeling in the village had become distressed. Many worried, confused expressions on many faces. Soon she heard that her brother Mamadi was no longer there. Seems like some people from the government showed up and asked for Mamadi, and then he was gone. This was a day that Kadia will never forget. She wondered aloud, frightened and astonished. Why would they take my Mamadi away? Why would they take my little brother away? She wondered if she would ever see him again. Well, the year was 1964, and the government of Guinea, West Africa was putting together a national performing ensemble as part of gaining independence from French colonization 6 years earlier in 1958. They wanted to put together a group of the most gifted traditional artists, the best dancers, the best jelly, those are the oral historians and advisors to the kings, the best kore juga, those are the comedians, the stilt walkers, actors, writers, and of course, drummers. They were looking for the best in all the land. As the government searched for the best and brightest, the name Mamadi Keita was heard. Mamadi had become so well known as a great drummer in his region that at the age of 13, he was taken away from his village by the government to be in a national performing ensemble called the Ballet Joliba, so named after the mighty Niger River. This was at once a great honor, a blessing, and a great curse. Because of his amazing talent, he was lifted to the national spotlight. But this also meant that he was being taken away from his village, the only place with the only people and family that he had ever known. Days passed, then weeks, then seasons, then years. During this time, Mamadi was touring the world, earning a reputation for being the greatest African drummer the world had ever seen. But back at home in the village, well, each day Kadia would pray to Kuruni, the protective and wise spirit, that her little brother would return. So many years passed. More than 10, then 15, then 20. Oh. Eventually, Kadia took the vow to dance Mori Bayasa. And if her prayer for her brother to return was granted, that vow to dance Mori Bayasa is very serious. She would dance Mori Bayasa. Now, the woman in the Malinke village can only take this vow one time in her life. It has to be something very, very serious to take this vow. In this dance, one wears clothes and shoes that are not their own. The dance is chaotic, without form. Frequently, objects are knocked down as the woman circles the village 5 to 7 times. Folks pick up after her, as everyone knows what she's doing and why. After the dance, she changes back into her normal clothes and buries the old clothes under a particular mango tree. In Mamadi's village, Balandugu Jomawanya, a tree that would be named the Mori Bayasa tree because of all the Mori Bayasa dances that this mango tree has seen over the long centuries. Well, 25 years passed. Over the years, rumor had come to Balandugu of Mamadi's visits to places far and wide, outside of Guinea, outside of Africa, of winning the Best Drummer in Africa award at the age of 19 in a place called Algeria, of teaching people with different skin color than his, of performances for kings and presidents of foreign lands, and many other incredible stories. Well, children became adults, then parents. Mamadi's parents passed, as did his older brother Nankababa, so named for the village founder, Nankababa, who who established Valandugu Jomawanya during the time of the great Malinke King Sunjata Keita in the 13th century. Well, now the year was 1990. And on a particularly hot day, Kadia felt an unusual feeling, a familiar feeling from long ago, one she could not explain but felt like a distant dream or memory. On the horizon, she heard an unusual roar coming from across the savannah. It wasn't quite a, buffalo. It wasn't quite a lion. It wasn't quite a hippopotamus. As the sound became louder, the entire village began to take notice, all gathering together under the protection of the mighty Dubalen tree, the tree under which all the important events in the village happened, the tree that witnessed Mamadi's early days as drummer. While in the distance, she could see a dust cloud moving toward the village like a herd of wild beasts. And as it got closer, she could make out the image of something with round feet and no legs moving very, very fast. How can this be? How can this creature move so fast with round legs and no round feet and no legs? What does it want? Why is it coming to our small village? As it slowed down, its billowy dust tail closed in around it to reveal an old army jeep, something this village had not seen or perhaps did not remember. As it came to a stop and the dust cloud engulfing the jeep began to fade, a gasp went through the entire village as a figure emerged, as if passing from the spirit realm to the manifest. The image of an adult Mamadi came into view. As the village prophets had predicted, he had in fact become a master drummer, whose reputation reached all corners of the earth, whose parents transitioned to the ancestral realm before they could bask in the glow of his fame. Kadia's eyes grew wide and her heart danced with joy. Her prayer had finally been answered. Her little brother Mamadi had returned. Now, after she greeted her brother with tears in both of their eyes, Kadia rejoiced. Kurduni rejoiced. That's the protective spirit. Balandugu Jomawanya rejoiced. Mamadi had returned. Later, she danced Moy Bayasa, fulfilling her vow, for her prayer for her brother to return was answered. Moy Bayasa, eh, Moy Bayasa, Apo, Moy Bayasa, eh, Moy Bayasa. Thank you. Nika. If I get a Nika endorsement, that's all I need. I don't need no big record label. I need Nika to say I'm okay. So, all right, good. So, dang, that's right on time. How about that? Well, thank you very much for joining me. These stories have been evolving for a little while. There are more of them. And you'll see them in print, with a little copyright symbol right next to it soon enough. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to ShooBooty Studios and Bill Brickey, and all of y'all for being here. Namaste.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Drummer Michael Taylor, we want to thank him very much for stopping by ShooBooty this afternoon. Taylor's going to be back this winter to do one of our basement shows, and maybe more than one. We don't know.
Yeah.
We've been in discussion, and we're kind of excited about that. Stick around, have some Danish and some soda pop, and we'll also be doing a gong bath. Is that what we're doing? We're doing a gong bath. If you sit still for a second, I will bathe you in the sound waves of the gong. Just don't move, all right? For those of you that are watching,
Who could ask for anything more?
I'm sorry, you can't be in the gong bath. You have to actually visit the studio. Coming up at 5:30, that's about 25 minutes from now, is Mr. Nick Davio, singer-songwriter, children and adults music entertainer. Really a super talented guy that I've had so much fun working with for the past couple of years or so. So sit tight, have you get yourself a bite, and don't forget to look in the description below if you want to support Taylor in the development of this story.
What he said.
We put his stuff right down there so you know where it is. And stay tuned. ShooBooty will be back in 5, 3, 2.
This. You see our friends who've gone before. I like to think so. Clouds do not care that it's cold up there. Rain and snow in. Wind doesn't mind this olden time. It gets to blow in. Taking all the stuff off.
Yeah, you're good. Just,
We blew it up.
you're so good looking, I just want to get in closer.
Even with this ugly hat on?
Even with the ugly hat on. Alright, I'm gonna get a little fancy now.
Alright.
Nothing wrong with that.
Take what we get. You can't remember, did you want me to do a full hour or 40, like 40?
Full hour if you want to.
Okay.
45 is fine too.
Okay, cool. We'll see how we're feeling after 45. And
Yeah, mostly we're just getting bugs worked out today.
yeah.
Now, then I have
happy
to-
to guinea pig.
Thank you so much, because I'm like, now I got all this other crazy stuff on my mind, a splash screen, and,
There you go.
intro music.
All right, I like it. He's a full production company.
Well, yeah, it is actually.
How the kiddos?
Well, Time just rented a studio, so he's full on with his design thing. He's making tap boards,
Oh, nice.
and still tapping away. They had their blow up with Lane Alexander, who runs the American Rhythm Center,
Oh, okay.
and he was very bad.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how he picked this year to act like an idiot, but he decided to tell people that he thought that his dancers were ungrateful for participating in
Wow.
the Black Lives Matter movement,
Okay.
which is really bad since he's teaching tap,
Right.
and a lot of them are black.
Wow.
And then he got on this kick where he wanted to tell everybody that the Irish invented tap dancing.
Okay. Wow.
So that was an episode,
Interesting.
which doesn't make any sense. He was sitting on a gold mine,
Yeah.
but we all get to take our turn being really dumb.
Yeah, I guess so.
Can you put the guitar in your hand?
Absolutely.
And let me see.
Won't be some time you can't get out of bed. You do it anyway.
Just want to check a couple more camera angles and we're good.
Okay.
It's all part of the dance. Misstep is a chance to stop. Remember all that you know. You've always managed to grow.
5 minutes still here.
All right, thank you. 5.
5 minutes still here, you guys. You gotta go to the bathroom or something. Carol. You know how you are about your grandkids. Are you cozy, honey? How was it?
We just got a little movie projector thing for, we've been doing movie nights on the back porch and get the sleeping bags out, same kind of thing. Yeah, it's been really nice.
So somewhere I saw like a down thing that had a foot on it, and it was like kind of a blanket wrap.
Ooh. Cool cameras, man.
Thanks.
Are those, are they mics on top?
Yeah, they're camera microphones.
Oh, nice. I actually might run down, use the restroom while I'm at it. Sit downstairs to the left.
Yeah, you're gonna go downstairs and to the right. Thank you.
I just didn't, I told them I wasn't allowed to do anything on my ability. So it's pretty much done. I need like 15 minutes. I'll hold it and it's done. It's very, it's more, it's a little over the top. Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm very proud of it. It's the highlight of my year. Yeah, I just finished.
thank you, Bill Brickey. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm gonna wave hello like I do all the time. Let's all wave hello. Alright. This is an original song I wrote during quarantine. I would call it a family-friendly song, let's just say that. It's gonna be some tough days. It's gonna be some heartache. It's gonna be some times when you can't get out of bed, but you gotta do it anyway. It's gonna be some anger. You feel just like a stranger. It's gonna be some times when you get lost and scared. Might not feel prepared. Better take a breath. Step by step by step. It's all part of the dance. Misstep is a chance to stop. Remember all that you know. You've always managed to grow. It's gonna be some long nights. There's bound to be some rewrites. It's gonna be some times that you just wanna quit, but I know you will get through this. You better take a breath. Step by step by step. It's all part of the dance. A misstep is a chance to stop. Remember all that you know. You've always managed so many steps to learn. The routines and the bets, stumbles and slips. You'll find the rehearsals a piece of the trip. It's all part of the dance. A misstep is a chance to stop. Remember all that you know. You've always managed to grow. Oh, 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 oh. Remember all that you know. You've always managed to grow. Thank you. So I know Mr. Bill Brickey through the Old Town School of Folk Music, and now we've just become friends and collaborators. I make music for kids and grown-ups, and some of my music sort of blurs the line, I think, between the two. One day I hope to pitch some music to Pixar, maybe something like that. That would be one big goal of mine. So, but I wanted to open with that song because, well, Bill told me this was more of an adult, oriented show. Most of my original music is about death, and it's it's hard to open a show to be like, okay, people are just walking away and they don't want to know. No, even my songs about death are upbeat, so don't worry. But thanks for listening. My name's Nick Davio, or you can find me online as Mr. Nick Davio, depending on who you ask. So yeah, I'm gonna do a bunch of original songs, maybe throw in some Bowie or Queen. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for listening, everybody, and hope you enjoy it. Is it somewhere in the dark where you are, where you are? Is it someplace near or far where you are? Is it somewhere in the blue? Where are you? Where are you? Is it someplace that you knew? Where are you? Where are you? I can summon you in the fire. I can summon you in the quiet.
beyond the stars where you are, where you are? Or is it only in our hearts where you are? Is it on the other side where you hide, where you hide? Or is it only in our minds where you hide, where you hide? I can summon you in the fire. I can summon you in the choir. Thank you so much. All right. How's everybody feeling? Pretty good? This is great. This is pretty wild, man. I haven't done too many things like this in a while, so it feels good to be playing in front of people and not just a screen staring back at you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll do another original, then I'll maybe mix it up with a cover. This is a song I released toward the beginning of all this craziness. It's called "I'd Like to Know This," and I released a music video with it as well. It's like an animated music video, so check that out if you want to follow me on social media. Happy to share some links with you all. Where do we go when the lights go out? I'd like to know this. We see our friends who've gone before. I'd like to think so. Clouds do not care that it's cold up there, rain and the snowing. Wind doesn't mind that it's older than time, 'cause it gets to blowing. Ooh. Rain and the snowing. The wind doesn't mind that it's older than time, 'cause it gets to blowing. I'd like to know this. We be at peace when we're fast asleep, but ghosts just tiptoeing. Memory lives on, but not that long. I'd like to know this. The clouds do not care that it's cold up there, rain and the snowing. The wind doesn't mind that it's older than time, 'cause it gets to blowing. And I'd like to know this. I'd like to know this. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to do something upbeat, a little more upbeat, a little brighter. This is a song that you all probably know, and if you know it, sing along. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun.
Three little birds at my doorstep, singing sweet song, melodies pure and true. Oh, now this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry, do-do-do, about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said, don't worry, no, no, about a thing. Ooh, 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 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. And I woke up this morning, smile with the rising sun. The three little birds sit at my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Sing it with me now, this is my message to you. Sing it, don't worry, no, no, about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said, don't worry, no, no, about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright now. Tell me, sing it with me now, this is my message to you. Oh, I said, don't worry about a thing. Do-do-do-do. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Sing it, don't worry, no, no, about a thing. Do-do-do. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Because every little thing is gonna be alright now. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Well, cheers, cheers, everybody.
All right. I wrote a set list earlier here.
Here, I'm not just checking my phone. Let me check my Instagram, actually, real quick, just real quick. Oh, thank you. I just watched The Social Dilemma, so I'm trying to counteract the algorithms and all that good stuff. So, you know what? I guess this is technically the last weekend of summer, somebody said. That's, you know what? I'm going to say we're going to steal a little bit of that summer feeling with this next song. We're going to extend it. We're going to extend it. Now, this song is actually called Stealing Summer Feeling. This is another song of mine that sort of blurs the line between kids' music and adult music, and it also has an animated music video by my friend Quelle Chris, kind of done in an old sort of Sesame Street vibe, chalkboard kind of style. So you can check that out on my YouTube channel, Mr. Nick Davio. That's where I put a lot of my family-friendly stuff, but I think you might like that music video, and I hope you like the song. I wrote this song with my friend Chauncey Alexander Davis Mowney. Got a few too many names. It's called Stealing Summer Feeling. Early in the hallways, not quite yet the fall days. Summer was a weekend, thought it was a season. Tables kinda noisy, boys and girls are scheming. Teachers looking sleepy, thinking about the weekend. Monkey bars and slides and swings, climbing walls and swinging rings. Show and tell and pack your lunch and trade me this for that. We were young so long ago, and we've got so much more to go. The summer came and went in the blink of an eye.
Homeroom after recess. Next week is the first test. St. Paul, Minnesota. Bismarck, North Dakota. Number twos and sharpeners. That one's mine and this one's hers. Like a combination's 4, then 12, then 21. Or is it double-spaced and single file? Coach made me run the extra mile. I don't want to shake summer off of my skin. Waiting at the bus stop, finally there is no clock. Few more hours of daylight, having supper outside. Stealing summer feeling, laying here and seeing patterns on my ceiling. Can't wait to be dreaming. Thanks, everybody. Still doing all right out there? All right, thank you very much.
Check my set list again.
What am I singing now? Ooh, I got this one is going to definitely change gears a little bit. My wife and I have a band called Hearts and Wands, and we're sort of like, well, we do a lot of original music, but I want to say we sort of live in the world of 70s kind of Bowie, Rolling Stones kind of vibe. But like I said, we do some original songs. This one, I don't know, somebody said this sounded like a little more country, but we'll see. You have to let me know what you think. And, you know, some people just don't know how to say they might have messed up, or they don't know how to take the blame for something. And we're all human, we all make mistakes, but this song's about the people who don't know how to say I'm sorry, or don't know how to say, whoops, I messed up. Here we go. Put a little blame on something. It ain't worth the hurt confessing. Stuck out in the street undressing. 'Cause it ain't worth the feet of fessing up. Put a little blame on something. 'Cause it ain't worth the hurt confessing. You're stuck out in the street undressing. 'Cause it ain't worth the feet of fessing up. I won't take the rap for all these wrongdoings. You can't pin me down if I just keep moving. Don't be spreading lies. How you're surprised. I blew it. I blew it. Put a little blame on something. 'Cause it ain't worth the hurt confessing. Stuck out in the street undressing. 'Cause it ain't worth the feet of fessing up. You better give these sins a break. There ain't no one to witness. Take this heavy weight. I have no weight left here. Symphony of sense, and you can't face the music. I can't stop thinking about figuring out all the ways that we should live. Somehow thinking about figuring out all the ways that we forgive. And that's when you start talking. Oh no, that's when you start giving it confessing. When you're stuck out in the street undressing, 'cause it ain't worth the fee to fessing up. 'Cause it ain't worth the fee to fessing up. It ain't worth the fee to fessing up. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everybody. Get some more water here.
How's it going over there, Bill?
You look like a movie star.
Oh.
Well, that's thank you. I was gonna say it's an overstatement, but I appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna maybe do another cover for you. This is a song, once upon a time I music directed a show. It was kind of a Frankenstein of the Alien movies and the music of Queen. And it was a little show called Alien Queen. And we started out at a little nightclub in Boys Town called Circuit Nightclub. And we worked our way up, and eventually we headlined the Metro several times. And the last time we did it, we had like a 30-piece choir. And that was scary, arranging all that music. But during intermission, well, during in between Alien and Aliens, I got to come out. I was mostly behind the keyboard, but I got to come out and sing "Crazy Little Thing Called Love." So I'd like to do that song for you right now, if you don't mind.
Actually, you know what? Let's get the foot tambourine on it.
Let's get real. Let's get real. We shall see. I'm gonna pay Andrew my whole stipend to sit in with me. That's what. No, I'm just playing. I mean Taylor. Here we go. This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get round to it. I ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. This thing called love, cries like a baby in a cradle all night. It sings, it jives, shakes all over like a jellyfish. I kinda like it. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. She knows how to rock and roll. She drives me crazy. Give me hot cold fever, leave me in a cocoa sweat. I've gotta be cool, relax, get here, get on my tracks, take a back seat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. She gave me hot cold fever, leave me in a cocoa sweat. This is the part where you clap. I've gotta be cool, relax, get here, get on my tracks, take a back seat, hitchhike. Take a long ride on the motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. Keep it going now. Do. This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get round to it. I ain't ready. Oh, crazy little thing called love. Yeah, crazy little thing called love. Ooh, crazy little thing called love, yeah, crazy little thing called love. Oh, crazy little thing called diddly 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 do. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. I do my own backgrounds. Thanks everybody. Glad you enjoyed that one. Now we're gonna bum everybody out again. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody needs to just calm down a little bit. I know, you gotta balance it out. Yes. We got, what do they call it? A hippie speedball when you drink coffee and then smoke a little weed. I think that's that's the hippie speedball, y'all. I hope my parents are watching on that one. So. Gosh, you were just so engaging until that one moment where just less talk and more rock. All right. Let's see what I got for you next. Let me tune up my guitar real. We're kind of just chilling, so I'm not gonna rush through anything. Let me tune up real quick, if you don't mind. This is going online, after all. Still doing okay over there, Bill? You still okay? All right. Well, I got one for you. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it. We're going to have to play together one of these days. All right. Might as well stick on the Freddie Mercury, Queen, Bowie vibe. I'll do a couple of those for you. This one's called Under Pressure. Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you, no man has fall. Under pressure puts a building down, splits a family in two, puts people on streets. Umbabe, umbabe, dee-da, dee-da. That's okay, it's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends screaming, let me out. Pray tomorrow takes me higher. Pressure on people, people on the streets. Da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay. Tripping around, kick my brains off the floor. These are the days it never rains, but it pours. Streets, da-da-dee-da-da. People on the streets, da-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee. It's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends screaming, let me out. Pray tomorrow takes me higher. Pressure on people, people on the streets. Turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on a fence, but it don't work. Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn. Why? Insanity laughs under pressure. We're cracking. Why can't we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love that one more chance? Why can't we give love, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love? 'Cause love's such an old-fashioned word, and love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night, and love dares you to change your way of caring about ourselves. This is our last dance. This is our last chance. This is ourselves. Under pressure. Under pressure. Pressure. Thank you. It's hard to fade out a snap without. That's where I need Bill to just be like, fade.
I got you.
Thank you. We'll fix it in post. Thanks everybody. I'm gonna take a drink because singing Freddie and Bowie is hard.
Speedball.
Hippie speedball, anybody? What's that?
What's the wine?
Wine. Whiskey would be good. No, I'm just kidding. I'm good. I played at a kid's birthday party earlier and they offered me a beer and usually I say no, but I did drink the beer. Yeah, the kid. He was like 3 years old. He's like, want a beer? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I can't get in trouble for this. No, I'm just kidding. I did have the beer though. But.
All right.
Any Beatles fans out there? 2. All right. Sweet. Let's see. I know some Beatles songs. Anybody want to hear a Beatles song? Yeah. Okay. Let's name a few Beatles songs and I'll see if I know them.
I Feel Fine.
That one's good. I like that one. What are some other Beatles songs you guys know?
Good Day Sunshine.
Good Day Sunshine. That's a good one. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can do this one. And then if I fail miserably, I'll try to play one of the ones that you all requested. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. She's old enough to know better. The king of Marigold was in the kitchen cooking breakfast for the queen. Queen was in the playroom painting pictures for the children's holiday. Already messed it up. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. She's old enough to know better. So cry, baby, cry. Duchess of Kirkcaldy, always smiling and arriving late for tea. The Duke was having problems with the message at the local Bird and Bee. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. She's old enough to know better. So cry, baby, cry. 12 o'clock a meeting round the table for a seance in the dark. The voices out of nowhere put on specially for the children for a lark. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. She's old enough to know better. So cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. She's old enough to know better. So cry, baby, cry. Cry, 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 cry. Make your mother sigh. She's old enough to know better. So cry, baby, cry. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. Oh, this is a song I was thinking about maybe for the singing rally, but it's maybe a bad idea. It's a little song called 16 Tons. What do you get? This is a song that I learned working on the Chicago production of $1 Million Quartet. I worked on this show as sort of a assistant music director and rehearsal musician dude. What's up? You guys get a lot of planes over here. Is there an airport or something out this way? I'm just kidding. This song, so I used to rehearse the show. I wasn't in the show, but I do a lot of the promos. So I would play Carl Perkins when the understudy played Elvis and vice versa. Anyway, this is a song I learned working on that show, and I enjoy singing. I hope you like it. Some people say a man is made out of mud. Poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bones. A mind that's weak, a back that's strong. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and a deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Well, I was born one morning and the sun didn't shine. Picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine, loaded 16 tons. Number 9 coal, well, straw boss said, well, bless my soul, you load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. Yeah. If you see me come, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. I got one fist of iron, others are steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 tons and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I owe my soul to the company store. Thank you, thank you.
Singing Rally is basically Old Town Teachers Organization is going through.
We're negotiating for a fair contract right now, and things are coming along. But we're hoping to get some support behind us. We were looking to get the contract done by Halloween, but it's looking like things are pushing a little bit further. But we're just trying to let the public know that we're looking for a fair contract and just trying to rally some support and let people know that yeah, we're wanting to be taken care of, you know, by our employer, which they do well, but we're working hard to make it fair for everybody. So yeah, Singing Rally, you should check it out. Bill and I are going to do a song. It's going to be great. It's going to be October 3rd at 7 p.m. It's going to be online, so check it out. And I'll tell you more later on. So, and I'll do a couple more songs and then we'll wrap it up. Sound good? Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody, and thank you, ShooBooty. Is it ShooBooty or ShooBooty? ShooBooty. ShooBooty. You gotta sit on the booty. ShooBooty. All right. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate being asked to do this, and I appreciate you all coming out. Appreciate folks tuning in online, and yeah, we'll do a couple more, and then I'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
All right. What's gonna be? Well, let's. Does anybody got a drink? Even if it's water, whatever. All right. This is kind of a song by the Beastie Boys. It's not actually kind of. It's definitely a song by the Beastie Boys. It's called "Fight for Your Right to Party," and let's just do it. Well, you wake up late for school, man, you don't want to go. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no. Miss 2 classes and no homework. And your teacher preaches class like you're some kind of jerk. Oh, you gotta fight for your right to party. Oh, you gotta fight for your right to party. Yeah. Ooh. Hey, your pops caught you smoking and he said no way. That hypocrite smokes 2 packs a day. Hey, living at home is such a drag. Tell your mom to away your bent on man. Whoa, you gotta fight for your right to party. Oh, you gotta fight for your right to party. Yeah. Oh, 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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta fight. Oh, yeah, you gotta fight, yeah. We said party, said party. You gotta fight for your right to party. Oh, yeah, yeah, you gotta fight. Oh, thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna do one more song and I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm so used to playing for like 45 minutes, so it's almost 45 minutes. Is that cool with you? Is that cool with you? Thank you. Thanks again for hosting ShooBooty.
Nice internal clock, man.
I'm saying it just happens. I'm like,
You're like 1 minute away from 45. That's disgusting.
thank you, creature of habit. You should see my online classes. They're like, I'm 30 minutes and I'm done. I can't. Staring at a screen. Woo. All right. Well, I sometimes open with this song, but I'm just gonna say I get by with a little help from my friends. Here we go. What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Whoa, I get by with a little help from my friends. Get by with a little help from my friends. You know I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? No, no. How do I feel at the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, get high with a little help from my friends. You know I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? Need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? Oh, I want somebody to love. Can you whistle that with me? It's hard to whistle in a mask. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? Oh, I want somebody to love. Could it be anybody? Oh, I just want someone to love. Would you believe in a love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. What do you see when you turn out the light? I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. Get by with a little help from my friends. Get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I wanna try with a little help from my friends. Yeah, get by with a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends. Woo! Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. And thanks, Bill. And thanks, everybody.
We'll see you all real soon. Bye.
All right, let's talk about it, shall we? All right, everybody, that was Mr. Nick Davio here at ShooBooty Studios. He's just cleaning up a little bit, so y'all can rock on back to me. I gotta say, I loved it. I got my mask on and everything. I'm boogieing here at ShooBooty Studios. Next week, we got that super special Shelly Miller. Y'all can stop by the house, or you can view it online on the YouTubes there. You know what I'm talking about. Just trying to give a girl a shout out. ShooBooty making his own guitar. You don't ever know. But if you're looking for something to do next Saturday between the hours of 4 and 6, think about stopping by. Look at what a good time Nick is having. And maybe...
Here's some Shelly Miller for you. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It on faith. I was too young to wait.
Say it one more time. Jar? Sure. It looks a little bit like a wallet. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. So, thanks for supporting. Well,
better than full of
Oh, you been talking about me?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that when you're a children's entertainer, people kind of forget that you're there,
Yeah, it's true. Most of my gigs are before like 4 p.m.
right?
But you know, it's a way to pay the bills. I did the bar scene for a long time. I used to play a band called Ferdinand. We were actually a bunch of Milliken guys. After we graduated, we came up here and played all the bars and stuff like that. And eventually decided I needed to make a living, so
Children's gigs.
started doing the kids thing.
The reality sinks in.
Right. Well, I was doing both for a while. I was doing music direction for theater. I was doing evening shows and then morning shows, and then eventually that just was too much. Loading out of the metro at like 3 a.m. from a midnight show and getting up to teach Winter Work.
At 9.
At 9, I couldn't do it on like 4 hours sleep. Exactly. Especially if I wanted to have a couple like cocktails at the end of the night. You know, I'm like.
Too much.
So, but I'm trying to get more back into the adult scene a little bit, I guess. But this is sort of helping me along.
No, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it. We got plans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it. And you're right up this. I live at Foster and Western, so I feel like this winter we're going to be working on a lot of
Spent a lot of
projects
times.
together.
Yeah. We got it going on. Who else is out here? Alton's not far from us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's up in, he's at Roosevelt and Clark.
Okay. Wait,
Is it Rosemont?
Rosemont. Yeah.
Rosemont and Clark. So
All right.
he's near there. But I'm really glad that you could come out. And
Thanks for asking me.
it was no problem. It was the perfect thing to do. And, you know, so, and we'll schedule some stuff.
Sounds good, yeah. And then I'll have to come maybe check out Shelly if I'm in town. I might go to Michigan, but if I'm not, I definitely want to check out.
Yeah, check her out. I don't know if you've ever seen her perform before.
I don't know that I really have. I've seen some videos, but I need to see her live. Yeah.
She's hardcore, dude.
Yeah, she's
The voice comes out of nowhere.
yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna pack it up.
Yeah, me too. I gotta.
You got a lot of stuff here to.
breaking stuff.
At least
down.
it's like it's not like a gig. You can just go right into the studio.
I'm just walking it down.
What do you think of this little amp? It's not too bad. Does the trick.
I have. I think that in the future, as long as it's singer-songwriters, what I'm gonna do is I have a Bose L1 that I'm gonna set up out here.
Okay.
And just so you guys can come in and plug it in. And I also want to see about getting the feed from the PA to go directly to Zoom.
Okay,
Or not to Zoom, but to OBS or whatever.
Right. Cool, man. Well, and you know, if you ever just need an extra set of hands for setting up, I'm happy to do it just because, you know, we're friends.
I'll tell you what I need is somebody to run the dang thing while I do it.
There you go. Well, if you show me what to do, I'll do it for you.
I appreciate it.
Because, you know,
What's that?
let me know.
But yeah, I love it. Thank
Oh,
you so
okay.
much.
Absolutely. Appreciate
Max
it.
loves it.
Neighbors really love you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad. I was felt bad. I was like, I was gonna bring a couple people, and then it kind of fell through. But glad some people were
It
out.
was, yeah, this is exactly what I expected.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I didn't want to put it out there because you know you want to keep
Even the weather cooperated.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
Hey, now. Take care.
Dude,
All right, we'll talk soon.
you got it.
Wonderful.
Did you like it? How's your dad?
He's good. You know, we had our service, and then when I was getting ready for dinner, I could hear it. I said, "Oh my God, I want to be here!" But it was great. I was in the kitchen grilling, and it was wonderful. Oh, it was wonderful. It was so sad. Would I like to play the gong? Can I?
Yeah.
I have a gong.
Yeah.
Not like that, but I have a little one, a little singing bowl. Thank you for the music. I was singing inside.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Nick,
welcome.
this is Robin.
Hey, Robin. Nice to
Hey,
meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
Yeah, Bill was saying this is made out of old singing bowls, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where'd you get that?
I got it in Massachusetts, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
City
there-
of Gongs.
Yeah, there's a guy there who travels. He travels back and forth to,
Yeah.
I want to say Tibet,
Uh-huh.
that area. It's not specifically Tibet. And when the bowls are broken, they melt them down
Oh, wow.
and they turn them into bronze. So this is one of those.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe it's really.
That is so great. I need that when I'm doing my Tai Chi in the morning.
Right? It's so iconic.
Oh my God.
I did a full like sonic bath one time where they had like 4 or 5 of these and all these. I mean, it was a trip. I mean, it felt like a trip. Yeah. It was wild.
We went, he had really big bowls, and you went and you stood inside the bowl, and he would hit the bowl, and then he'd do the thing you're talking about, right? And I was like, it was like, whoa, way too much to believe.
Hi, Sarah.
And out.
I had my eyes closed in it. I mean, it was like tripping acid. I mean, it was wild.
Next time you do it, let's do it together.
Sounds good.
What's his name?
Where was it?
It was in the West Loop somewhere. My friend who runs the Chicago Children's Theater got some like Groupon or
Where is
something for
the-
it. This was I'm trying to remember the name of the studio, but it was near like Racine and like Randolph or something like that.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, I'd
We'll go
love
out there with you guys.
That'd be so fun. It'd be really fun.
There's a guy, I've been to 2 of his workshops. I don't remember his name, but I get his emails all the time. I'm on his list. And the first time I went, there were probably 35 people. And it was him, maybe one other person, but he had like
Right.
50
Just a
or
wall.
100.
Like,
Yeah, a wall.
yeah.
It was
Damn.
awesome.
Cool.
But you could feel it. I mean, everybody's supposed to lay down and you said, put your feet towards
Right.
the gongs. But you could totally feel it when you were done. It
Oh, yeah.
felt like, it's great. Well, you know, music is always so transformative anyway, so
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
just another view. But that's
Another
awesome.
level.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Do you need help getting that inside or anything?
It's really light.
Okay.
You know, it's mostly what it is. It's just a lot of busy work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, look at there. There's
Yeah,
nothing
just
heavy.
wrap up some cables and stuff.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, I just got the, I got a Universal Audio, it's a smaller one, has 2 inputs.
right. Yeah.
But I just got one of those and man, it's got great sound.
Yeah, it kills the latency,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
the reason
That's
to
huge.
go in. Yeah. So
Is that something you've had for a while or?
I got it because of the pandemic.
Right.
You know, I did my research and way, so I've had it since the beginning of the pandemic. I'm what they're, you know, I'm an early adapter,
Right.
technology-wise. So,
No pun intended.
right. So it was, you know, if you did your research, it became clear really early that latency was the enemy.
Right.
You know, so
Exactly. Yeah, real-time monitoring is just like such a luxury.
dude, I'm just like, how can it even be the thing? So
Yeah.
I was like trying to figure out how to use Jam Kazam,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And Jam Kazam, that's one of the units that they like,
Okay.
but it's still,
And that was also software where they made the thing, but they don't actually, like, they haven't done any updates on it or anything, have they? It's a way, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's a way for, like, if Bill and I wanted to jam, like, at our own homes.
Yep.
Because over the internet, you're going to deal with latency and
Right,
everything.
right.
So it's supposed to be the software that was developed. And I did the same thing. I ran across that thing, but I never did. I mean, did you?
you didn't miss anything.
No, it seemed like something that people were like, oh, it kind
I
of wants
think
to work, but doesn't really
It
work.
was one of what happened was they started developing it before anybody really wanted to do it.
Right.
Wow.
And then they were like, they got caught snoozing because, you know, what was it? March?
Yeah.
Everything shut down March 20th.
Right.
And everybody was like, oh, Jam Kazam. And those guys answered no emails.
Right.
Really?
They were just gone.
They'd already given up on the thing, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I had seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so I've been on there a handful of times since then. And you can't, you know, I played with some cats from New York, you know, and their video, they're just, you know, it's the same thing with everybody else that's sort of supporting music online
Right.
peripherally. They always do it kind of halfway.
Right.
You know, is it because, you know, there's no big money behind it unless it's a television studio or
Sure.
something. So they are, this is my opinion, you know, I'm whining, but they're missing $1.
Yeah.
You know, there's tons of musicians that would be like, you know, 10, 20, you know, $50, get me set up, you know, give me a $14.99 monthly fee to have access. I do it, but, you know, everybody got caught with their pants down,
Yeah.
so, you know, that is a bad thing, and it's also a good thing, because that's how these things are happening,
Right.
with people playing outdoors.
Yep.
You know, and you know, when somebody's, and I'm not just shining you on Nick, but when somebody is as talented as you, right, all you need is a microphone and a little PA system, and you just let them go, right? You don't need a huge production hall or something.
Right.
So, you know, and we know tons of people who do exactly what we do, and this is easy for us.
Yeah.
So,
And the one thing about a recording studio setup is like, if it's just the two, I mean, it's already compartmentalized. I mean, you've got like ISO booths, so if it's just even for the winter, because that's what I've been freaking out about. I've been doing so many outdoor things. I'm like, what are we going to do in the winter? But it sounds like you at least have somewhat of a solution to doing a small
I
scale
think I have.
indoor thing. But
I think I've figured it out.
my friend's got a studio, and he's got air purifiers in every room, and there's only like 1 or 2, maybe 3 of us, and we're all in the. He's in the control room, live room. I'm in the listening room, and you know, it's the best we can do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is because of I get sinus infections really easily. So we actually, the entire basement is on a purification system,
Okay. Wow.
exchanging air with the outside, and you know, rolling it through. And then I do have the vocal booth, and then the control room, and then the larger. You saw the larger room, which is
Right.
insanely full right now.
Well, looks like you got some projects going on in there.
Well, there is. You know, one of the things that happened is a friend of mine died, and he's a hobbyist, and he made amplifiers in his part-time.
Oh my God.
So a lot of what's down there is connected with these homemade amplifiers that weigh about 50 pounds a piece.
Wow.
So that's one thing, and then the other stuff is actually, you know, just me.
Yeah.
It's you know, the learning process. You know how when you're like, you know, oh, let me try this thing, you know, that's so I'll try this. So a lot of it's just stuff that needs to be put away. But
Yeah. Well, you've done a great job with you know, your open mics and the OBS. Like, are you familiar with open broadcast software?
No, I'm Bill's neighbor.
Yeah,
But
so
I don't.
You've sort of peripherally
Well,
seen what he's
I don't
done.
know all the technical stuff,
Right.
but I know it's impressive.
I don't either. I mean, I've been trying to
pretty
like.
darn
I'm the
professional to
same
me.
way. I mean, you're definitely more, I think, technically built than I am. But the same thing happened. Pandemic hit, and I bought, you know, an interface. I was just like, everything's gonna be remote, and I've got a tiny bit of extra money. Let me just get studio gear. I've now got a little, like, you know, mic shield thing, and every time I can buy something else. I got a new cajon pedal that is probably just delivered. I'm excited about that. So next time I'll have my whole.
I know I was listening to you today, kicking them.
I know.
Like, damn, Nick.
Usually I have a more of a pedal, but today I was just like, God.
Well, it sounded great.
Thank you. Anyway, well, I'll let you get
No
packed
problem.
up.
Yeah,
and,
it'll go quick, and I appreciate your offer.
Anytime. Well, I'm saying though, in the future, if you hey, you kids, get out of my yard!
I will.
They're like, wow, they ran away. I'm like,
I really appreciate everything.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Robin.
Yes, my dear.
So, you are Jeanette and I talk.
You talk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We do that every once in a while.
Yeah, good for you. I'm happy to hear that.
And what I'm gonna do is, like, when I'm creating the schedule, I'm gonna start copying you on it. When I'm finished, like, I always send something to Jeanette and ask her, so I'm gonna copy you on it. So, because it would have been easy enough to, like, reschedule things like that and everything.
It was absolutely, I reacted because the last time you guys were here, you were rock and roll. So that's what I was thinking, oh, how are we going to do that with them blowing the shofar and singing, in Hebrew? But it actually worked out perfectly. So,
Yeah. I'll definitely give you warning
Hey, Bill.
Hey, yeah.
One of these dudes, this just fell. I don't think anything happened to it. I just saw it.
I wouldn't worry about
Okay.
it. I dropped it. So.
Okay. I just want to give you a heads up in case something, but I don't think anything weird happened
Thank
to
you
it.
for saying so.
Oh, no problem.
Hey, can you guys let Nick through? Okay. All right.
So, but when I was telling Bill that we were done, and I was making dinner, I could hear the gong, and it was wonderful. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that Dictator Ginsburg died on
Rosh
the first
Hashanah.
night of Rosh Hashanah?
Right after they opened the gates. Yeah.
That just to me is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Hi, how you doing?
I know. It's crazy.
Sorry.
Somebody just gave me this T-shirt, so I wore it today. What would Dictator Ginsburg do?
That's a great T-shirt.
No, it's
That's a great T-shirt. Oh, that's Christine's husband. Oh. Wow. Yeah. What a great loss, huh?
well, yes, tragic loss, and bless her for, and I hardly say that about anybody,
Just the
but for
best
staying,
that, like, I
trying
still
to stay alive. I mean, she really was trying to like
welcome night.
soldier through to the election, but
Yeah. Wow.
I knew when she went in to the hospital this last time that she was at the end. She was at the end.
Why are you letting them in?
The ramifications and the fallout from this are just
Yeah.
horrendous. I know,
It's just hard to stay. I said I'm not listening to any news today. I'm giving today's the day that I'm not plugging in, I'm not checking email, I'm not doing anything just for one day.
well, that's good. You should, it's a holiday anyway.
It is.
So you should
It
do
is. It's not the time to be there, it's the time to be here.
I actually wound up knitting.
Did you?
Knitting almost all day today until I came here.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I did listen to Rachel Maddow did a really nice, like sort of memory of interviewing different people that
Last
knew
night?
her. No, well, it was last night. I listened to it this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll listen tomorrow. It's a good one. I mean, there wasn't anything, political about what's going to happen
Right.
next. It was just all about people
That's
that had
good.
worked with her, like one man who had clerked with her when he was getting started in his law career, and just sort of the family that she created with all the clerks, and really nice stories.
It's uplifting. It's heartwarming to know that people, there are some really amazing people who make this work.
Yeah, and she was one of them. I mean, in terms of women's rights, we have so much to thank her for. So much she made a difference.
Rest in peace. Shikran Libra Us, which is may your memory be for us.
Okay, now somebody put on, I'm trying not to go on Facebook as much, but a woman I know who is Jewish, who usually posts something on the Jewish holiday, she was talking about it, and she said that there was, because she died on Rosh Hashanah, there was a word for it.
Maybe a mitzvah?
No, it wasn't mitzvah. It was some other word I had not heard before, and it meant, that, and I can't remember all the things she said it meant, but it had justice in it, and it had, it was really, it was like it was describing this. It was like describing it. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
So Rosh Hashanah is, Rosh is the head, and Hashanah is the year, the head of the year.
The head of the year.
And it's actually the story of creation. That's where it begins is in Genesis, the story of creation. So every year we read the story, somebody chants it in Hebrew, and then somebody tells the story. And it's a beautiful, beautiful service. And I remember hearing it when I was a kid, and then I forgot about it when I was a teenager and older, and then I came back to it in my 40s, my late 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It really is beautiful.
That's nice. Well, I was married for a number of years to a Jewish person, and while he was not religious, he always celebrated Jewish holidays.
Spirituality.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it isn't about religion. It's about there's a reverence and there's a.
Go ahead and do
I
it.
just think that Jews all over the world are so. It's kind of a cool thing.
And it's about family and it's about community.
So there's like 3 different mallets,
Totally. Where do you live?
and you start out with the little one, and you go around the edges,
Yeah.
just like
I'm technically basically
and
in
then you go
Western,
towards the middle and hit the middle, and then
It
you get
is
the
Western,
bigger one,
which doesn't
and you
make
do
any
the
sense
same
to me
thing, and then you
because
get the
I'm not
real
really-
big one.
I know, it's a silly boundary.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
my area is just
Yeah, so start with the little one. And so you're just like, just hitting around the edges in kind of a swirl towards the center.
There was I had a